start with you, Anne. You're back playing royalty
Yes,
for
I was
Disney,
just,
Your
ye-
Majesty.
Yes, I was just thinking about how when I work with Disney, I usually get a crown, which is lovely. It's not the reason why I do that, but it just kind of has been a nice coincidence.
What was the other one?
All the princess movies.
Oh, yeah, yeah, duh.
Yeah, come on, have you not been on my IMDb page? Come on.
No.
Helen, I was wondering if
Sorry.
when you had the chance or thought about, I get to play
What?
the Red Queen,
Yes.
was that like a oh goody goody moment?
I didn't really know what he meant by the Red Queen when he said, "Oh, would you ever possibly think of doing the Red Queen thing?" And I thought, okay, yeah. And then I didn't know when. Oh, and then I went and read the thing, and then it was like, enter Erasmus, has humongous, oversized head and is very, very angry, and I thought, okay, this is how he sees me now. So. No, but she's really good. She's a gift of a character, and I loved her because she's completely mad, and mad people are funny. I think it was quite difficult for Tim and everybody. We all had to be different. We had to be mad in different ways. So, and you had to be quite specific, therefore, about, like, with her, I just thought, well, a lot of it all generated from the fact that she had a big head and nobody else did. And that's why I'm kind of jealous of everybody else's heads, and that's why I chop everybody else's heads off. But I'm about age 2 in emotional development, I think. I sort of picture her at the same age as our toddler now. And she has very little empathy for other things and kind of thinks the world revolves around her. And she's very, very insecure. And she's just got this sister, this kind of perfect sister. Which is, and yeah, it all stems from her, really.
Of course.
It's all your fault. But what about similarities? Do you think the sisters share some similarities, some traits?
Well, Tim was when I came on board. He said, I don't want this to be a case of good queen versus bad queen. I think that this is much more of a gray area. And once he basically gave me permission to create a complicated emotional backstory for the White Queen, I just kind of went to town with it, and I started to imagine. I've said this before, that that the Red Queen tortured me when I was a child, and kind of
It was fun.
I imagine you locked me lots of places, kind of left me in the woods, made me eat things, like really, but I also went very, very far with it and kind of.
It's my dolly.
Yes, that whose hair
I thought you enjoyed it. I mean, you enjoy it.
Of course you did. And so I imagine that she's kind of been twisted by this, and also she's watched her sister kind of become more and more mad and more evil and do these horrible things, and she's so desperately afraid, kind of almost like the way a child of an alcoholic would be afraid that they would have the disease inside of them. So she's made it a point to be like over the top nice and over the top happy and everything's wonderful, but she doesn't actually believe it. It's just kind of she's trying to stave off any kind of negativity around her, but she actually has a dark side that she's trying to avoid ever meeting.
You haven't had the chance to see all the finished film yet. What's the anticipation like for that? Because this is a new trend in acting, where you're acting with a green screen and characters that aren't there. So, what's your anticipation like to see the finished?
Well, it'll be fun. At least I won't look like me particularly. So, hopefully, I'll find it easier to watch myself. But it'll actually be exciting because. We'll see what on earth, I'll see what on earth Tim was on about. And, it was Greenland, so I'll finally see what the green pillar, what the pig looks like. I didn't know what the pig looks like until I saw the trailers. Like, oh, that's what he looked like. And, and then the frogs and I'll see everything. Then I'll feel like, now I want to do the film again because now I know what everything's meant to look like. So I'm genuinely, it's going to be like it'll be like, there's enough thing to say. It's like Wonderland. You're going through into somebody's imagination. Opening that little door, and you go like, "Oh, that's what it's going to be like." When in fact it's just been green up to now.
changing out there. There's a storm coming, Harry. Just like last time.
Well, first of all, welcome to AOL, and welcome to the world of Harry Potter for you. You play the, I want to get the pronunciation right, Bellatrix Lestrange?
I say Lestrange.
Lestrange sounds...
Bellatrix Black Lestrange. She's
Bellatrix.
double-barrelled.
Oh, right.
And Lestrange gives it a bit more of an aristocratic
It does sound like that, doesn't it?
lilt.
She's also the sadistic cousin of
Sirius.
How did it feel when you were first told that you were going to be playing an evil witch, as it
I
were?
thought, that's pretty normal.
Normal
Didn't
phone
surprise
call to
me.
get.
Yeah, exactly. Evil witch. Yeah, okay, that's pretty obvious.
When do we
I've played
start?
witches before, so I've done a few. In Big
Yeah.
Fish I did. So I thought I've got to play it differently, this one. But this one's sadistic, evil. I haven't really quite done sadism before, I don't think.
Aren't witches generally bad, or you can
Some
have
good
levels
witches.
of... Yeah.
I know some good witches, actually, some white witches.
Yeah.
Witches often given bad rap.
Now hand me the prophecy.
If you do anything to us, I'll break it.
He knows how to play. Itty bitty baby Potter.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
Neville Longbottom, is it? How's Mum and Dad?
Better now they're about to be avenged.
Let's everybody just calm down, shall we?
How did you prepare for that role? Were you once you knew were you at home?
I did
casting
my
spells?
research, because I just thought I've got to, because every child who will watch this will have done all their research and know it
More
backwards.
research than you'll ever do.
Yeah,
probably,
exactly.
yeah.
So I did. I didn't quite extend as far as reading all the books. You know, I had read a couple of them anyway, but then as they got thicker, I got a bit less conscientious. But I do love them. I do love the books. So I did do a lot of. I phoned up lots of friends who were fanatics and
Yeah.
said, "Look, what's the deal with Bellatrix?" and give them a backstory. And Wikipedia was very useful. And so I did do pretty extensive.
Yeah.
I find almost like the smaller the part, the bigger the foundation you've got to create to give
Yeah.
it some, hope of credibility.
But like you say, each of the characters are very important, big or small,
Yeah.
in this film, and it has to be done right. But
Yeah.
I just imagine you at home thinking, right, does this look sadistic? Me doing this, or
No,
because
you
you don't
can't
get a
ever do
wand.
that.
I can't. I don't notice you with a wand.
I had a one. Didn't you see it?
I didn't see it. I saw just lots
Yeah,
of.
It's typical.
of
I had a great one. It was warped.
Really?
And I spent about 3 weeks doing one combat lessons, and I got a blister. And I had a great fight, a whole fight with Sirius, which I believe is cut, a duel. So I was quite good. So no, we did a lot of that, and because there's like 5 different spells I had to learn, and it was all choreographed and everything
Right.
in supra. They were all given these Latin names: addendum, adipertum, in supra, and it was sort of like a bit fencing, come dancing.
Right. It must be a strange thing to practice when there's nothing to base it.
Well,
on.
particularly when there's nothing coming out of your wand.
Yeah,
it's a bit
exactly.
disappointing. But funny enough, it looked only menacing or violent when it was really focused, and you had to be just mentally present
Right.
and really willing some kind of violent act.
Yeah.
And it's all in the eyes, really.
Yeah. The sadistic eyes.
And willingness to create cruelty.
Is your son old enough to know
Not
about
really.
Potter yet? So
No.
he's not.
He's only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did make him watch number 3, the beginning of it, and he burst into tears.
Best to leave it. Best to
Yeah,
leave
I'll
your
leave it. I won't
role
terrify him yet.
for a while. And have you met J.K. Rowling
I
yet?
haven't, although I look forward to it. I hope I'll meet her. Maybe she can
I'm just
join me.
wondering if she actually sort of mentions to you, because your chances of getting through to the
I think
final book.
No, I am in the final.
Yeah?
She whispered. I mean, it came through
Yeah.
the people.
How
that-
tempting is it to get to see what happened? I mean, when that book's out, are you just
Oh,
going
I'm
to
gonna
read
get
it, or
my
are you going to
nephew-
flick straight
I'll
to
get my
the...
nephew who speed reads.
Yeah.
There isn't an index, is there?
No, but I'm just imagining it's going to take a while.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a few scouts out there,
Yeah.
fast readers who I know are fanatics.
So probably by the day
Yeah.
after it's out, you'll know
I'll
exactly
know if
how
it's-
busy you'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
On that one. And how would you describe the hairstyle of Bellatrix?
Wild,
Did you have
big.
much say in?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of say because I just wanted to be big. I thought I've got to be conspicuous.
Yeah.
She comes in right at the end of the film. She hasn't got that much to say. I've got to make an impact somehow.
Yeah.
So big everything.
you think it's going to catch on like a Jennifer Aniston Friends
Look,
hairdo? Is
I
it going
do.
to be?
I mean, I
the
love it. I
Bellatrix?
love that wig. And I love the white streak.
Yeah. It's a great look. It has a sort of Robert Smith from The Cure mixed with Lord knows
pornographic,
what.
yeah. My sister-in-law said he looked like a porn queen.
I've heard you mention that you described the character as sexy. Is that true?
Yeah, I wanted to have a bit of sex in there because
Yeah.
she's completely worships Voldemort. I think she's in love with Voldemort.
Yeah. She's scary as hell, though.
She's scary. Yeah, that's good.
the
Well, that's
thing.
what I
But
was
maybe
meant to
that
do.
can be linked in with the sex
A lot
as
of people
well.
find that.
There's another question which
Yeah.
probably we won't lead on to.
We
now.
won't go there. It's a children's movie.
But thank you very much. Your part was good. Really enjoyed your part in it.
You're welcome.
And best of luck. I know the film will be a huge success, but best of luck with everything.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Helena, as I came out of the tube today, there you were, hurtling towards me on one of these fantastic new moving posters,
Really?
which it actually looks like something out of a Harry Potter film. It's
A moving
marvellous.
one.
A
What are you
moving
going
one.
to do? Which tube?
It was actually at Bond Street.
I've got to go.
You've got to go and see it. And I just wondered, well, if you haven't seen it, but what about the rest of the anticipation for the film? Have you found that the excitement has been building a bit more on this penultimate
Yeah, I think
film?
people have been. It's really nice when people are so excited and it's sort of like you've got, and, that it's just across the board. Children, I just love the fact that, most of them are young people. And that they're excited and, I brought my little niece last night and she said, it's the best thing ever, it's their enthusiasm, you do it for them,
Well, let's just talk a little bit about Bellatrix, and she is one of my favourite characters. I think I relate because I have that kind of wild hair myself.
Yeah, we like hair. We like big hair.
We like big hair. But I mean, I think you play her with this sort of wonderful, menacing coquettishness as well. What do you relish about the role?
I think I've relished. Well, I love the teeth, to be honest. I've loved getting dressed every day and getting into all the gear. And I love the fact that I've been allowed to just unleash my total mad inner child, and total anarchy, and that nothing really, no choice. I mean, anything goes. It means that you have to kind of be on the balls. You can't be lazy, and she's never laid back. She always requires a lot of energy. But it meant that I could just be really inventive because anything or anarchic, and try. And David Yates, gave me. I trust him enough to just go for it. And but he was really exacting too. He wouldn't let me get away with. So she was just fun. There were lots of different elements. She's meant to be a bit sexy, but at the same time she's meant to be revolting. She's meant to be It's like playing lots of contradictions. I think that's the thing. I wanted people to feel like, oh, what are you? Are you actually quite attractive or no? Not,
And you made such an impact with Order of the Phoenix. I just wondered, how much of a challenge was it sort of turning up the volume a notch each time in all of the four?
Well, David said that he noticed that I was better at it in the last film. And I thought, well, yeah, it probably is, because it takes a bit of time for her to settle in. And after I think one of them, I just had a baby, so I was completely, out of it, frankly. And the other one, the first one, it was quite hard to find her. There were lots of ambitions. But it's so funny because he does change, because I started off speaking quite posh accent, and I noticed in this last one, although it had gone really quite Cockney, because I was speaking to Nick Moran, opposite Nick Moran, and I was just like, where is she? I said, well, I did start off very, she was pure blood and Aristocrat, and then, so it's just like, whatever, Bellatrix has her own. She's going to be doing anything. Yeah. Go Birmingham soon. Anyways.
Well, I mean, I'm a grown woman, but Voldemort absolutely terrifies me, and I just wondered what for you makes him one of the great screen villains, because of course Ralph Fiennes, who plays him, is the most beautifully, quietly spoken gentleman in real life, isn't he?
Yeah. No, I think contained rage is really scary, and properly channeled is really scary, and I think Ralph is brilliant at that, and he's amazing and really mesmerising. As Voldemort. I think it's the no-nos that does it for me.
And time just for a little bit of reflection. What fond memories will you take away from the making of this
I think
wonderful
the
franchise?
relationships with all of them. I loved all my different relationships and friendships, that people I got to know, Janie, the costume designer, Amanda, and Lisa, the costume and the hair, and makeup, and all the runners. Matthew Sharp, who's the most amazing second AD. and his humour, and Jamie the first, and all Eduardo, all the, you know, I mean, there's such a massive amount of people. Quite apart from the three Davids, the laughs. We had a huge amount of laughs, and then Dan and Rupert, and then Emma, and seeing them grow up, and all the other actors. It's been a privilege to be part of it. It's a phenomenon, and you know, it's so lucky that people are enchanted by it. You know,
Job well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I hope not. I mean, I really hope not. But I think maybe my laugh, you know, or but that's about it. But no, I'm not some insane, sadistic, psychotic. I suppose I'm quite childlike at times, you know. But no, there ain't much. No idea. I mean, I don't know whether, you know, best by, you know, if it's a great film. But I suppose one of the most enjoyable films, because it's like choosing a child, you know, a favourite child out of all your children. But one film that I always loved, you know, I definitely loved doing, although it was hard, was Sweeney, because I always wanted to sing, you know. So to be in a musical for me was definitely one of those dreams that I popped out of the womb with, and that came true. So, and for Stephen Sondheim to have chosen me too was such a thrill, and to sing his words and the music, that was a real thrill. But most films I've loved making. What, as Bellatrix? Of course not. There's no real hair there. I mean, everyone's probably disillusioned, but you know what? That came out. I wanted her to be actually, I mean, it's really crazy. It was Bellatrix Black Lestrange. So I wanted to have, like, I wanted to be, at one point I said, well, it's probably going to be misinterpreted as, but I just wanted fantastic black hair, you know, and actually wanted Rasta hair. And then it got toned down a bit. But the thing is that, what's a good thing is that if this might be a secret people don't know, but if you don't want people coming and making you look perfect all the time with hair and makeup, which they tend to do, and it's like a swarm of people, and on the whole you want people to keep away, choose a messy haircut, because if they're going to you have messy hair, it doesn't really matter if somebody goes, you know, if you look a mess or not, they're going to keep you away and keep away from you. So I just thought, I'm going to just go for complete anarchy and a mane, and then they'll keep away from me. I mean, there were some other artistic choices behind that hairdo, but no, not one real hair. It was a wig. Yeah, and the teeth, I can tell you, definitely fake. I have them. I kept them because they're not going to fit anybody else, and they're really useful at times. It's been really, no, as I said earlier, I just always feel like it's a privilege to be part of it, and to join that huge family, and be something that will never really, I'm sure won't ever happen again. And again, just to be able to excite young minds, or just see their little eyes pop up with it, you know, with little life and excitement, is I feel lucky to be part of it.